Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat
Shabbos.
Shalom.
Welcome to Israel, to Temple Israel. It's good to be here at the end of another week as we begin Shabbat together. I invite you to please rise as we join together in the bracha, the blessing over the Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. May be seated. Let's turn to the Sidurim, to the prayer books, to page 11 for Kabbalat Shabbat. Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector. Filled with thanks, let us greet God as we raise our voices in song. Page 11, Lechuner Anina.
Let's join our voices together. Lechuner Anina, Lechuner Anina, Lechuner Anina, L'Adonai. Lechuner Anina, Lechuner Anina, Nariya, Litzur Yishenu, Nekama, Fana Betoda, Fana Betoda, Fana Betoda, Nekama, Fana Betoda, Bizmirot, Bizmirot, Nariya lo. Lechuner Anina, Lechuner Anina, Lechuner Anina, L'Adonai. Lechuner Anina, Lechuner Anina, Nariya, Litzur Yishenu. Arba'im shana kut bedor va'omaram tohi levavhem vehem ledu derachai asher nishbati v'apim yivon el menuchati.
Sing to Adonai a new song. Sing to Adonai all the earth. Page 13, Shiru L'Adonai Shir Chadash.
Shiru L'Adonai Shir Chadash. Here we go. Shiru L'Adonai Shir Chadash. Shiru L'Adonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru L'Adonai Baruch Hu Shemo. Basru miyom liyom Yeshuato. Shiru L'Adonai Shir Chadash. Shiru L'Adonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru L'Adonai Baruch Hu Shemo. Basru miyom liyom Yeshuato. Sabru v'goyim kevodo. B'chol ha'amim nifleotav. Sabru v'goyim kevodo. B'chol ha'amim nifleotav. Shiru L'Adonai Shir Chadash. Shiru L'Adonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru L'Adonai Baruch Hu Shemo. Basru miyom liyom Yeshuato. Shiru L'Adonai Shir Chadash. Shiru L'Adonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru L'Adonai Baruch Hu Shemo. Basru miyom liyom Yeshuato. Miyom leyom, miyom leyom, miyom leyom, miyom leyom, miyom leyom, miyom leyom. Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato. ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו, יעלו שדי וכל אשר בו, אז ירננו כל הצער. לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק ועמים באמונתו.
We turn to page 20, the final 3 lines of the page at the red arrow for Romemu. We turn to page 23 and we continue with Lecha Dodi, the special song welcoming the Shabbat Kala, the Shabbat bride. We join together in the first 2 stanzas on page 23, after which we flip to Boi V'Shalom, the final stanza, at which point we rise and we face the door. Page 23, Lecha Dodi. Not yet. Almost there.
Let's join our voices together. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela. Shamor v'zachor, b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamiluchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'necha, ki mekor haberacha. Nirosh mikadem nezucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela. Boi v'shalom aterep ala, gam b'simcha u'b'tola. Toch emunei ham segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat, Nikabela.
May be seated. We turn to page 27, a song for the day of Shabbat, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat.
לזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות. עלי עזור ועלי נהבל, עלי היגיון צדיק התמר יפרח כארז בלבנון, יזכה שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינבו משיבה דשנים ורננים יהיו, להגיד כי ישר אדוני צורי ולא הבלתה בו.
Page 29.
אדוני מלאכי ולבש, לבש אדוני עושית הזרה, תיקון דבר בעלי תימוד. מקולות מים רבים, אדירים משפרי ים, אדיר במרום אדוני, עדותיך נמנו ולביתך נאווה קודש, אדוני לאורך ימים.
I invite everyone to please rise, and as we do each Shabbat, we share the words of blessing of Berkat Kohanim, the Yivarechacha, with our children, with our family members, with the people around us in community. Please join together in the words of the ancient blessing. God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Ken yehi ratzon.
May God's Spirit shine upon you and may God be gracious unto you. God's Spirit turn unto you, and may God grant you peace. Ken yehi ratzon. You may be seated. We now turn to our prayer for healing as we think of those in our lives in need of physical and spiritual well-being. And this Shabbat, in our prayers, we think of Shimon ben Yaakov Mordechai ben Naomi, Perel bat Rezel, Malka bat Sarah, Leib Yisrael ben Abraham v'Tzipora, Aliza Meira bat Leah, Tzivia bat Chana, Elijah Avila, Yafa Fega bat Zisalbina, Kathy Berlin, Karen Nina Esther, Adina Miriam, Harry Kenny Kevin Haffey, Ezer Pesach, Ben Zion Chai Ben Rachel, Miriam Bat Rivka, Jean Cook, Dennis Carroll, Aver Yitzchak, Mordechai Chaim Ben Leah, Bluma Duba, Malka Sarah Bat Ruben Verut, Hechazan Arya Shimon Ben Chana, Eleanor Goldman, Sophie Galinsky, Harvey Stone, Sarah Ella Bat Arya Leib, Maxine Albaum, Shmuel Ben Shimon, Chana Bat Bina, Chaim Yitzchak Ben Gittel Fagel, Shmuel Ben Regina, Mitchell Radin, Lieber Ephraim Ben Malka, Yaakov Ben Moshe, Schneier Zalman Ben Chana Mindel, Julie Duke, Benjamin Shmuel Ben Yehudit, Talia Weinstein, Yitzchak David Ben Yael Sima, Yaakov Burton, Moshe Elchanan Ben Harav Abraham Yosef Halevi, Ital Chaya, Yitzchak ben Yosef Verivka, Herschel Yehoshua ben Malka, David Shmuel ben Chava, Devorah bat Genendel, Alona bat Zahava, Aaron ben Sarah, Matal Centrovich, Shmuel Herschel, Moshe ben Zev, Echana ben Lazer, Caleb Tseng. If you'd like to include someone in the prayers tonight, I invite you to rise and to share their names with me when I come to you. That Kol HaCholim and all those who are ill, we join together in the prayer for healing.
May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yisheberach imotenu, mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We turn to page 30, and I invite those in mourning or observing a yortzeit to please rise and join me in the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divera kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, pa'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen, yehi shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lameo maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei, v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha brichu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, damiran v'yalma v'imru amen, yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen, oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May be seated. Shabbat shalom. So a few years ago, a good friend of mine, who has been a lifelong fan of the Chicago Cubs, got to see his team win their first World Series in over 100 years, certainly as long as he'd been alive. He was very happy. And the reason that he was a Cubs fan was because his grandfather was a Cubs fan. Well, the night that the Cubs won the World Series, he posted a video on Facebook that probably was not the best thing for an attorney to do, of him climbing over the fence of the Jewish cemetery where his grandfather was buried, going up to his grandfather's grave and drinking a l'chaim with his grandfather to celebrate the Cubs' victory. I cannot imagine how happy he was feeling at that moment to watch his team win, and in his own way to share that moment with his grandfather, who had inspired him to become a Cubs fan. Needless to say, I've never experienced that exact type of happiness. I was 2 years old the last time the Mets won the World Series, and my other teams, Jets, Knicks, Islanders, nothing going on there. And I usually don't turn to the Torah to look for clues about what is going to happen, for predictions about the future. But this is too good to not share, because when we open up the Torah tomorrow morning to Parshat Yitro, we read the story of Yitro, Moses' father-in-law, advising Moses to appoint other people to help him judge, other people who can take some of the responsibility off of his shoulders in leading the people forward. And Yitro advises his son-in-law, "You shall also seek out from among all the people capable individuals who fear God, trustworthy ones who spurn ill-gotten gain. Set these over them as chiefs of thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens." Pretty clear signal, if I've ever seen one, that the chiefs are going to win. But later on, just a chapter later, as the Jewish people approach Mount Sinai and God recalls for them everything that God did in Egypt, how God took them out of slavery and brought them to this moment and is about to make them God's people, God reminds them, "You have seen what I did to the Egyptians, how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to me." Another very clear signal of what's going to happen on Sunday. So basically, I have no idea. But I really like that second verse, the image of the Israelites being taken out of Egypt by God on eagle's wings. It's supposed to be a very tender image, the image of God caring for the Israelites, for our ancestors, in a very, I think it's almost a maternal way, the way a mother eagle cares for her babies and carries them on her back, on her wings. But it also describes something else. It describes that feeling of flying, of being up in the air, of being elated, of being excited. The expression "on eagle's wings" to me connotes some kind of incredible experience, some kind of peak moment of happiness, of excitement, of something special that is happening. For many people, devoted sports fans, that's when you see your team winning the championship. But as Jews, we are encouraged to think not only about the biggest peak moments, but how we can make peak moments, exciting moments, part of each and every day of our lives. How can we make each moment special? How can we make each moment distinct? Some of the moments in our lives are easy. When we celebrate bar or bat mitzvahs, we feel that elation, we feel that excitement as we see our children demonstrating their accomplishments, demonstrating them becoming adults. When we get married, we have that feeling of a peak moment of meeting our soulmate and being joined together through ancient ritual. But while those are big moments that only happen hopefully once for each person, but there are moments every single day that Jewish tradition encourages us to acknowledge. Those are the little moments when we thank God for something, the moments when we thank God for the miracle of having enough food to eat each day, the moments when we thank God for giving us the ability to see as we open up our eyes, the moment when we thank God for allowing us to stand straight, for giving us the strength and health to be able to do that. We have a lot of prayers in our book that point us to those little moments, to remind us that yes, there are big, gigantic moments that don't happen that often, but each moment of the day, or many moments of each day, give us a chance to be excited, to feel that we have something to be thankful for, something to be happy about. Shabbat Shalom. We continue with the Maariv service, page 39. Please rise for the Baruch Hu.
Ah
may be seated. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from before the light.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הרבי.
Amen. Page 40. Ahavat olam b'simcha.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך, אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך, לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. יאי לי 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 לי, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגד יומם ולילה, ובהם נגד יומם ולילה, אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך, אהבת. באהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
Amen.
שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
42. V'yam shemon shem mitzvotay shenach. תזכרו, ועשיתם מקום מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
ואמונה כל זאת בקם עלינו, כי הוא ענה אלוהינו ובעזרתו ואנחנו נזרם. Then Moses, Miriam, and the people of Israel joyfully sang this song to you, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, page 44.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם. Let's join together. מי כמוך מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא תהילות עוזי פלא נורא תהילות עוזי פלא עושי פלא מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה זה אלי ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד לעולם ועד מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושי פלא נורא תהילות עושי פלא עושי פלא ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגלומיר חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גלי ישראל.
Amen. Allow us, Adonai our God, to sleep peacefully and awaken us again to life. Blessed are you who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Page 45, Hashkivenu.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום לשלום השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים לחיים ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך שלומך. When I lay down at night, when I lay down at night, when I rest my head, when I rest my head, oh God, watch over me. And when the morning comes, we thank Adonai. We thank Adonai and pray for peace. Join together, Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. אתה ועד עולם, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל, ועל ירושלים.
Amen. Page 46, please rise for Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ולעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, ולעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה,
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי
בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב. אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולם מעולמיה. יתברך
יתברך וישתבח ויפאר בתרומה וינשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה
תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא.
ויאמרו
Amen. We spend the next few moments in silent prayer with the words of the Amidah, beginning on page 47.
When you've completed your Amidah, you may be seated. So I want to give you a little insight into why I chose this Adonai Sfatai to complete our Amidah tonight. So I teach the Hebrew school kids as well. Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. God, open my lips so that I may praise you, so that I may declare your praise. And I am lucky enough to have a colleague visiting from overseas, and we had an amazing conversation about the pathways towards God through the liturgy, through Jewish music, through nusach, through melodies, through colleagues that we admire that are doing wonderful things in the world. And this is really my soul's deepest yearning, is to how do we find pathways to God through music and through the liturgy. So this text is kind of like the cantor doing Hineni on the high holidays, when you kind of feel like, how could I possibly have the words to talk to God? How could I possibly have that? And that's why I love this prayer so much, because sometimes we don't have the words, but we can find them through prayer. So this is a prayer to pray to God for the words to pray to God. Does that make sense? Adonai, Adonai, Sefatai, Sefatai, Tiftach, Adonai, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai, Adonai, Sefatai, Sefatai, Tiftach, Adonai, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai, Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth will declare your praises. Adonai, Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth will declare your praises.
We continue on page 54 with Kaddish Shalem. Please rise.
Yikara v'yikadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
V'yamad yivrach yirutei b'mnichmachotei b'chaychon v'yimachon v'chaytcho b'eit Yisrael b'gala u'b'zman kariv yimru
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba mevorach, le'olam lo me'omaya, Yitbarach.
Yiparach v'yishrabach v'yipar b'truma v'yitnaseh v'yitzazar v'yitzal v'yitzal shmei rikudsha
V'yichulei
Leila min kol berchata v'shirata t'shuvchata v'nachamata d'miran v'alma v'yimeru.
Amen.
Tirka b'altzal tonu v'altzal zuchoi Yisrael kodam avonu v'yishmai v'yimru.
Amen.
Yishmar Rabba min shmai v'chaymelin v'alchoi Yisrael v'yimeru.
Amen.
Noseh shalom b'imromav u'yaseh shalom alinu v'alchoi Yisrael v'alchoi yoshvei tevel v'yimru. Amen.
Amen. We turn to page 55 for the Kiddush. I need some assistance from the kids in the room. Come on up. There you go. We had so much company last week with your whole class. I know your class was 2 weeks ago, right? Or were you last week? You were last week, yeah. Go Shabbat Shalom. Savrim, Aranan, Rabbanan, Rabotai, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddeshanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, b'hava v'ratzon inchilanu, zikaron l'ma'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, v'otanu kidashta, mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha, b'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen. L'chaim.
Chaim. Thank you, guys. Page 56, Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו, בגדים מרומים, הוא אלוהינו איnon, אמקינו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו,
וידעת היום להשב אותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. כן, כמה חלורו בהם.
ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד,
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, היום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו May be seated. We turn to page 58 for the Mourner's Kaddish. This Shabbat, we observe the yortzites of Florence Paul, Ina Playuko Tzedlina, Lillian Rosenstein, Nettie Smith, Scott Gutstein, Zelda Brink, Alex Pensky, Dorothy Rosenberg, George Spiesman, Judy Ogan, Sheldon Gray, Suzanne Hertz, Annabelle Snyder, David Shlomo Dubin, Geraldine Jerry Ashkenazi, Harry Benjamin, Erwin Levy, Jenny Gross, Louis Kaufman, Murray Weiss, Sheila Goldsmith, Shirley Herbstman, Albert Levi Cohen, Barry Bucketman, Celia Rabinowitz, Nanette Pickens, Robert Stark, Samuel Rachelson, Abe Berlin, Abner Kotlowitz, Alfred Schoenwalter, Aaron Mund, Barbara Feldman, Claire Goldfarb, Frank Schuster, Helen Levine, Herman Levine, Joseph Rabba, Max Bierman, Nathan Rice, Pauline Levine, Abraham Helbine, Arlene Warschauer, Frank Brodowski, Gerald Friedman, Hildier Pratt, Marie Steiner, Rachel Weinstein, Dorothy Breaker Candless, E. Monique Salento, Esther Zuckerman Naumoff, Pauline Maddens, Ray Gingold Leibovitz, Sandy Bogner, Tess Mann, Betty Spiesman Lipman, Louis Abramovitz, Mildred Goldfarb, Moses Jaffa, Robert Blenner, and Willa Miller. We also extend condolences to families in the midst of Shiva and Shloshim following the death of a loved one, to Betsy Garfinkel on the loss of her brother, Merwin Rosen, to Richard Brophy on the passing of his wife, Susan Brophy, and to Richard Becker on the passing of his sister-in-law, Anita Becker. Also sad to share the passing of past Temple Israel Rabbi Mark Wilson, most recently of Greenville, South Carolina. Page 58, I invite those in mourning or observing a yortzeit to rise and join me in the words of the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divera kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'bizman kariv v'yimru amen, yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach leolam u'lameo maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha richu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechamata da'amiran v'yalma v'yimru amen yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen oseh shalom b'mromav Yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. May be seated. Representing the Temple Israel Board of Trustees, I call on Tom Bach. Have some grape juice while you're at it.
Thank you. Shabbat shalom and welcome everyone. Thank you, Rabbi Wolk and Kenter Lissick, for a beautiful service. Adam and Sean, thank you for the music and video. I was at the board meeting this week, and it occurred to me that while we regularly thank these folks, and they deserve our thanks, there are many others who work so hard to keep us rolling and often stay in the background. One such person sends me emails late in the evening, cares so much about our shul, is just a wonderful person, but never seeks out any accolades. So whether you're watching or not, Karen Turk, Major, thank you for all you do. I appreciate you, love working with you, and hope you have a wonderful Shabbat. Okay, tons of exciting stuff going on. I'm going to jump in. Tomorrow, we celebrate our Beyond B'nai Mitzvah students and those who have included Temple Israel in their legacy. Students will lead part of the service, and we will hear from one of our congregants on why they left a legacy gift to Temple Israel. Then on Sunday is one of my favorite TI activities of the year. Yes is the worldwide rap. Please join the men's club for the 23rd annual worldwide rap. It is seriously the best way to kick off Super Bowl Sunday. So here's how it's gonna go down. 9 a.m. we rap, 9:40 is morning minyan in the sanctuary with Temple Israel Religious School 5th, 6th, and 7th grade students. After minyan, the men's club will provide a big-time breakfast, I am told. Big time? Big time. I mean, that's the exact description I heard, so there's high expectations to live up to at that point. As a reminder, you do not have to know how to rap at the fill-in. There will be a number of folks ready to help you. It's the best part of the process, learning to rap from your Temple family. I have to relearn every year along with my dad. Luckily, folks like Michael Abadi, Brian Ablitz, and many others have a lot of patience and are great teachers. On February 21st, the Social Club has an amazing program planned. Bill Gorelick will speak about the history of these beautiful stained glass windows in the sanctuary, and artist Leslie Wicker of Statesville Stained Glass and Restoration will talk about how the windows were created. Registration information is on the TI website. Looking a little further ahead, our wonderful Cantor is bringing out the best in our kids with the Purim Spiel Encanto style on March 6th. Please join us. The website has updated details and the ability to register for the taco bar dinner. Okay, this last one will involve a bit of a soapbox. As you may have heard, our fearless leader is bringing back in-person daily minyan to Temple Israel. The list of yahrzeit and those needing prayers is long. This means there are many people who want to come to shul on specific days to recite prayers. But we can't recite many of the prayers without a minyan. We need the community to support those in need. It's a 15 to 20-minute commitment in addition to travel time. Please consider coming to help others. There's also a WhatsApp group run by Michael Abadi where you can get last-minute heads up on when we need people really badly, but I hope you will come proactively when you can. Those who are interested in signing up for this group can contact Michael Abadi after Shabbat, of course, or reach out to me and I can help facilitate it. Evening minyan, and keep me honest here, Rabbi, because I got a list. Evening minyan on Saturdays and Sundays is 5:30 p.m., Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m., Thursday mornings at 8 a.m., Sunday mornings at 9 a.m.
You got it.
Nice. All minyanim are held in the Mindy Ellen Levine Chapel. Rabbi, did you have anything to add to, or you're going to deal with this tomorrow? Perfect.
But you did a great job, Tom.
Thank you.
You're a great salesman.
Thank you. Well, that's all. Great to see you all. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Tom. Right. Go for it. You talked about enough food, you deserve a drink. We turn back to page 5 as we conclude Kabbalat Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem Malachi Asharet Malachi Elyon Mimelech Malachi Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shalom Aleichem Malachi Asharet Malachi Elyon Mimelech Malachi Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ay 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 Boachem L'Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyonim Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Baruch Hu L'Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyonim Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Baruch Hu L'Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyon Melech Malchei Hamelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Ay 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 Tzedchem L'Shalom Malachei Shalom Malachei Elyonim Melech Malchei Hamelachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.